I absolutely love the Scaled Solutions team. I think it epitomizes everything that we try to actually cover in our organization, which is the concept of really tackling new initiatives and then figuring out how to scale.
Hi everybody, my name is Sam Wilson. I lead the GTech Partners Geo and Payments team. That covers two different PAs, obviously Geo and Payments are separate. On the Geo side, we support a number of products. The biggest is probably GMB, Google My Business. So that enables businesses to really control the data that's represented about their businesses on Google Maps. We also work on a new nascent product, Geo Actions. So that's enabling end-to-end transactions within the Maps experience. Over in the international team, we also do a lot of partnership work that enables directions. So if you're in Maps, and you want to book a taxi or you want to find out the best transit route, we work with partners to enable that experience.
Oi, Scaled Solutions, como é que vocês estão? Espero que vocês estejam se divertindo em Lisboa. Hi, Scaled Solutions. Just kidding, I'm used to speaking my own language. I hope you're having fun in Lisbon. So, my name is Miguel. I lead Play, Feeds, and Customer Intelligence vertical in GCAP.
Hello everybody, my name is Gaurav Agarwal. I head the GBase team, which is Business Advisory Solutions Engineering team, part of GBoss. We roll up to Griffin.
Hello, I am Bert. I lead the localization team in GTech. The localization team's main activity is the translation and the adaptation otherwise of Google created content like UIs, help centers, marketing material, legal documents, and technical documentation.
Hi, I'm Daphne Long. I lead the data effort within IMI. Google being an AI-first company, data is the most critical things to make machine learning successful.
I think there's a nimbleness to the Scaled Solutions team of kind of really jumping into any situation and then really being great advisors to the other parts of the team and other parts of the company, frankly, on the best way to get things done, and then feeling ownership that when they can do something to solve a problem, that they actually will jump in and solve whatever the problem is and figure out how to solve that in 10 different ways for 10 different groups and do it at scale. It's not just the what the team does, but how the team gets things done. And so I think a lot of the initiatives that happen really are kind of business related, but then I think there are a lot of things where we have such trust and relationships with our vendors, like last year, around really helping them think about diversity and inclusion and how they can actually take that lens and find ways, in support of their own business to really think differently about the problems they're solving. And that partnership where, a lot of people would have said it wasn't possible, but I think it's a great example where Scaled Solutions stepped in, and not because it was a business mandate, but because they felt it was really important and it was possible, actually led the way in showing how we can work with our vendors to really create and carry through these concepts of not just diversity and inclusion, but really empower them to really feel like they are partners with us in the business that we support. And I think proving the possible when people don't think it's possible is another thing that I just love about the Scaled Solutions team. Obviously help products succeed and fail fast, but also think comprehensively about how to help users get the most out of Google. I think there's some really near-term tactical things around just with GMB coming in. It's like, how do we actually just support the volume and create the capacity and really help this one product actually really succeed or fail fast. And I think you see that model replicated across all the products that get supported across Scaled Solutions. And I think this is something where the team hasn't really had to operate at this level of scale before, and I'm been thrilled with the way the team's kind of tackling it, really trying to figure out how to rethink the problem and do it in a way that only this team can. I think separately also starting to think about how do we really take things, in this case, whether it's an end user or if we actually think about it even as users being the teams that we're supporting, how do we make sure that they get the most value out of the Scaled Solutions team? So doing things around vendor optimization, really figuring out how we rethink a lot of the relationships, figuring out, for example, even with something like the Vovos, how do we take advantage of that in other areas and really make sure that when we have these facilities, when we have relationships with vendors, that we're actually getting the most value out of those relationships for the stakeholders that we have to deal with are really important.
I think the amazing thing about Scaled Solutions is that you do provide scaled solutions. It's really through your services that we're able to do the work that we take on from the product, but do it in a way that is scalable, that allows us to work across a very wide range of different products and provide a consistent, high quality experience.
The Scale Solution team is critical for our success. Localization is a very, very skilled activity. It's one of those activities in Google that is centrally organized, and we literally support almost all products in Google and even a few of the other bets in Alphabet. The scale at which we work is quite daunting. We translated last year about 500,000 words, and we do this for over 120 products and into over 120 languages.
Last year we worked jointly on this massive content review RFP, where part of that was machine learning, finding a solution across the globe which can provide a supplier that can provide machine learning capabilities across the globe in different parts of geography, in different languages. And this whole RFP ran for about 6 months. And finally, we came to a very good solution where we have identified Tech Mahindra as the supplier who would provide the services and program manage this. Plus, we're also now looking at how do we convert some of this into transactional pricing. So this is an area which we want to go ahead and scale this year. Secondly, with growing presence that GTech has, it's putting enormous strain on our Govos. So this is a workflow that we should actively look at, seeing if this is being done out of Govos, trying to push more and more out of Govos, and you guys have been the pioneers.
And Scale Solutions team is critical in making sure that we get the services that Google products need in terms of localization, and that we get those services at the right time, at the right cost, and at the right quality level. And in typical Google fashion, as you know, the quality expectations are most often most important and are very high.
What I appreciate most about the Scale Solution team working with the team is 3 things: their operational efficiencies, scaling, as well as strategic thinking. On the operation efficiency part, the team is constantly looking for new ways to improve, better quality, shorter time. For scaling, last year we needed not just image data, but language data, and the team was able to do an RFP and get us language coverage in 3 other continents. And finally, strategic thinking. The team actually spent thinking, hey, how can I scale up my operation? They look at tooling. Instead of building tooling just for themselves, they build it so that all cloud compute user can use it. So that's really, really wonderful.
The big shift that we're now seeing is the majority of work that we're doing across Geo and payments is now on much more mature products. Google Pay that's now live in 18 different regions. We've got GMV that's seeing 20,000 tickets per week. So it's a really different way of thinking and a different way of working. So my big request to the Scale Solutions team is really help us work through that transition. Help us understand the differences in managing vendor operations at the type of scale internationally, globally, that we're going to have to deliver on for these new products and these new product areas.
I think Scale Solutions has a unique advantage point that none of my teams or any of the vertical teams will ever have, which is that team, your team, sees the operation and the operational challenges and solutions across many more products. You are in a position to cross-pollinate and bring new ideas to the table. I'm discussing with my teams challenges that are first of a kind to me, but perhaps you have solved that many times. For example, hardware operations. I never did hardware operations in my life, neither did my team. Part of Google Panels today deals with that. Maybe you have done that. Maybe you have insights. that's kind of the expectations of what I have and what I would like to see Scale Solution really.
An area that I'm looking forward to partnering very closely with the Scale Solution team is specifically around the vendor and location strategy. I know there is an opportunity to optimize the footprint. We would love to partner upfront, be a trusted advisor. In fact, Manu from my team is already working with all of you. There is a huge focus on putting controls around outsourcing, especially around compliance. We've had a lot of challenges specifically around fraud that has happened in the GMB side and some of it in the AdWords side. So that's an opportunity where we partner, put the policies in place and try to put controls.
Thinking of the rest of 2018, there's a number of things top of mind that might be relevant for the Scale Solutions team. One is literally scale. Our activity in localization is growing rapidly this year, much more so than previous years. The cost of sales that we will be spending on localization and therefore will be spending with vendors is up by 40%. And the main activity drivers are even up by much more. And so my main concern and top of mind is really being able with the whole team, including the vendors and the management of them, to support this fast growth. Secondly, top of mind is India and the new vendors that we put in place there last year. We knew that NBU was going to be important, and that's why we put in place the new vendors. But NBU in 2018 has gained even more importance, even at the company OKR level. And now, for example, with Missandei that I just mentioned, we see an accelerated rollout of certain products into India, and it's just becoming really important that those vendors stabilize soon and that we have a reliable localization in the various languages in India.
In the rest of 2018 and looking out into the future, as we're scaling our machine learning solutions, we're going to need a lot of very different data. And I'm looking to the Scale Solution team to work with us on that. Not just image data, but language data, dialogue data. I'm especially excited about having localization as part of the team and leveraging all the different capability that the bigger team has to help us to make Google machine learning a success.
Once again, thank you very much for everything you have been doing. We're really lucky to have an organization that is not just managing outsourcing, but really being our partners. I'm really happy with what I see each QBR, each one-on-one I have with people in that team. And I'm really happy to see us making more and more progress in that direction. So I hope you enjoy Lisbon. Aproveitem o tempo por aí e boa viagem de volta para suas casas depois do off-site. Tchau!